XRP Las Vegas just started, and it was undoubtedly a huge event for the entire XRP community. Brad Garlinghouse, for instance, spoke at the event, and we must discuss what he said because it is something we have heard before. And I still believe that we need to know what is actually happening with Ripple and what XRP actually means for what Ripple is attempting to accomplish. Let's deal with that then. In a moment, we will discuss that here. However, let's start by discussing Apex 2025, an event that is much more significant than XRP Las Vegas. There will be a lot of fantastic topics covered at this event, which is the biggest yearly summit for the XRP Ledger community. Like in 2024, I would be shocked if there wasn't a major announcement or cooperation announced at this occasion. Additionally, we do have Ripple swell as we move into the fall season. Therefore, we have a number of significant events coming ahead. Because Apex is so close to my arrival, which is scheduled for June 10th to 12th, I'm really thrilled about it. Additionally, I believe that all holders of XRP should put these dates on their calendars since they will undoubtedly be among the most important ones. Now that we consider it, what was discussed or announced in Las Vegas? As I indicated, we heard from some really well-known personalities, but the main thing we heard was what Ripple is attempting to accomplish. We'll talk about it in a moment, but it has to do with Ripple's drive about cross-border payments. Alright, we are aware that Ripple is altering the flow of money. I've always discussed the Internet of Value on this channel because that's precisely what Ripple is creating. Their motto has always been to build the Internet of Value and change the way that money is moved around the world. And I would suggest that a lot of the recent announcements, such as this one from February about Unicambio, are proof that they're still headed in that direction. They're still making great progress toward creating the Internet of Value, And XRP is included in this. Since the name was changed from on-demand liquidity to Ripple payments, many people believe that XRP is not involved in any way. After that, we also witnessed the announcement of RLUSD. These are the surroundings of Ripple payments when you visit the company. We no longer have XRP at the center point, as we once observed when you went to on-demand liquidity on their websites, and it's talking about stablecoins in the cryptocurrency space. Many people believe that XRP has been essentially replaced, but this is untrue. Alright, I want everyone to know that XRP and the XRPL are essential to Ripple's cross-border payment system. It isn't changed, dead, or anything like. However, since we were discussing cross-border payments 4 years ago as well, I do believe that we should emphasize some of these collaborations because this is undoubtedly a significant one, and it shows how Ripple is still focusing on cross-border payments, and it remains a major issue in the global financial system, which is why we are still discussing it now. Today's cross-border payments are incredibly inefficient and beset by numerous other inefficiencies, such as, for instance, low finality speeds, excessive costs, and a lack of transparency. Therefore, it is evident that we should consider these alliances when considering that. Now, the reason I'm bringing this one up again is because Ripple recently highlighted a customer on its X account. Unicia, one of Portugal's biggest and oldest foreign exchange companies, is using Ripple payments to broaden its global reach. We now have a complete case study in this, correct? Via Ripple payments, Unicambio is growing its global presence and gaining new clients. Our objective is to expand our clientele and provide expedited international business payments between Brazil and Europe. Fascinating. With the new push from Ripple XDev, if you missed it, 2 stable coins, the BBRL and I believe the BUSD, are launching on the XRP ledger. This kind of makes a lot of sense. We can envision Europe and Brazil being cornered on the XRP ledger when we consider this. All right. And when we add to that the notion that a euro stablecoin is also being launched on the XRP ledger. For this reason, I have said that XRP and the XRPL will not be replaced. The use case for XRP is really being strengthened. And we can hear them discussing Ripple payments and using cryptocurrency to accomplish transparent transactions, almost real-time payments, and even 24/7 market access. Here are a few of the numbers that support this. Thus, Unicambia was founded in 1992, 280,000 plus customers worldwide. It supports more than 50 currencies and 3,000 transactions on average each day. Because of its scalability, extensive industry presence, and expertise in international transfers, Ripple gives Unimbio the confidence to grow its business. Unicambio needs to work with a team that is as committed to the project as we are and has the same vision in order to provide our customers with the best value. Naturally, they are also opening important payment routes. As we already know, Ripple controls 90% of the foreign exchange market. I really enjoy seeing this. This is amazing. This is the reason I brought up Las Vegas. Because of what Brad Garlinghouse told us. Well, let's begin with this one. First, therefore, a huge thank you to Johnny Crypto Way Zero. We have Musty TV. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, states, "We all need to work together to grow the industry. Bitcoin isn't the enemy." But why is he referring to Bitcoin in this way? The adversary was never Bitcoin. Actually, the adversary was always Bitcoin maxis. However, I even say that in relation to Bitcoin, replied, "That's because Bitcoin was never a threat to the XRP ledger," I remarked. You see, there's nothing to be concerned about if you use the network that powers XRP and Bitcoin. And the reason for this is that Bitcoin's inefficiencies prevent it from completely dominating other networks, such as XRP, HBAR, or other layer 1s. However, take a look at this video clip. It lasts for around 59 seconds and features Brad Garlinghouse talking about the infighting and the fact that there are a billion more individuals interested in cryptocurrency. It really makes us all look foolish. And I seem to have said yes for a long time. It's like, come on. Furthermore, I must confess that I adore the XRP family. I adore it. Some members of the XRP family, however, remark, "Look, the Bitcoin community is not our enemy." They're not, in fact. I like that we will do well if they do well. We could do better. It's as though the game isn't a zero-sum one. I spent 24 years in Silicon Valley. Therefore, I believe that's the one lesson I learnt. The one lesson you take away is that technology is not a zero-sum game. We intend to expand the pie. David Schwartz came up here yesterday discussing the possibility of rewiring the entire banking system in 10 or 20 years. We underestimate the magnitude and impact of that transformation. And we accomplish that by cooperating and working together rather than against one another. A billion extra people. He's absolutely right here, isn't he? Instead of constantly saying things like, "Oh, well, this one's better than that one, and, this community sucks because of this," or "XRP is a joke, this, that, whatever." I really believe that this sector would be much stronger if we started to truly collaborate and work together. Over the years, there has been a great deal of internal strife, and what exactly does it result in? Nothing at all. It's all bullshit. Therefore, I do believe that he is entirely right in this case. In fact, Brad Garlinghouse did mention the big elephant in the room, which is that we will surprise everyone by the extent of the damage we may cause to the cosmos. Alright, so this quote is not really fresh when we consider the current situation. Making a difference has always been the goal of Brad Garlinghouse and the Ripple crew. Causing problems with financial payments as well as the cosmos, Ripple is getting fully involved in the financial system's rewiring. Ripple is making use of blockchain technology, specifically the XRP ledger. What they are accomplishing and doing will be truly historic. Their actions are altering the flow of all fiat currencies, including dollars, euros, pounds, Brazilian reais, and others, throughout the world. They are radically altering the current financial structure. As I mentioned earlier, this quote is not new. Let's go back to January 2024 as an example. Furthermore, this video clip does not date from 2024. Although it's a little older, we still have to monitor it. Ripple is to reminces what Google is to search engines. Our goal is to leave our mark on the cosmos. All of this is predicated on the $156 trillion industry for cross-border remittances. Additionally, we are aware that during the following 2 years, that amount is expected to increase by more than $200 trillion. But take a look at this. What exactly do you anticipate Ripple will do next to put you in this position, based on your understanding of their roadmap? So, it's really easy. Therefore, I believe that if there is one message to be sent in this room, it is that Ripple is not your typical business. We're not here to gain a modest market share, do X, do Y, earn a little cash, or accomplish anything else. Our goal is to make a difference in the universe. We will either revolutionize the way you think about remittances and how value is exchanged between institutions and people around the world, or we will simply disappear. It's nearly 0 or 1, and our Silicon Valley haughtiness is partly to blame. Some of it originates from Yes, which is why we were founded 6 years ago with the goal of transferring money in the same way that information is transferred today. Isn't that correct? And by utilizing the current ecosystem, we are enabling it. This, in my opinion, is a major way that Ripple differs from the competition, which is why we are a monoline corporation. We receive tens of suggestions every day asking why security settlement isn't an option. How about a career in trade? Finance? How about doing XYZ? And we inform them that the problem with cross-border remittances is $155 trillion. First, we'll figure this out. We're going to change the lives of all those in this room. And we won't look at anything else until we have made the difference. For searches, we are comparable to Google. Remittances are handled by Ripple. And we're going to do just that. We'll do it correctly. And until we gain your trust and business, we won't stop. Therefore, when we consider what is happening here, Ripple is totally dedicated to altering the global flow of money. Additionally, many people believe that stable coins are the main issue. They're no longer focused on XRP, and this is killing it. I have discussed this several times, and the stablecoin confirms it. However, the fundamental perspective that there is a problem with money and its movement remains the main focus. They're doing that, and we're fixing it. We also have another footage over here. This lasts for 24 seconds. Once more, they have the chance to make a difference in the universe. Take a look. As Steve Jobs once said, it's a big idea of rewiring how financial infrastructure worked. I see. I think we're all drawn to people and things where you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and you want to put your kind of dent in the universe. For example, Ripple always felt like a big deal, and even more recently, in December, utility matters. Take a look. I consider myself extremely fortunate to be in a position where Ripple can make a difference. When I first started working for the firm, I expressed my belief that many individuals desire to make a difference in the world, and I believe that many of Ripple's employees share this sentiment. They wish to leave their mark on the cosmos, and I believe we're making a dent in the universe if we keep promoting and effectively implementing Ripple's technologies. And I see that I have that opinion of the cryptocurrency market as a whole. Yoni and I have already discussed the drawbacks of tribalism in the cryptocurrency space, and aside from the con artists, who are merely bits of that which we must eliminate, I'm a big supporter of cryptocurrency, and I believe that many blocks and chains will work well for various use cases. I hope that many of them do, and I hope that Ripple has paved some of that path, especially from a regulatory standpoint, to help others along the way. However, the main focus here is still on utility and how we can use crypto to change things. Listen, money itself is evolving, that we already know. The governments are clearly warning us that, guess what? Things are moving up the chain. We wish to use the US as well, don't we? For instance, the United States wishes to strengthen the dollar by using stable coinage. Do you really believe that the United States will stop at the US dollar alone? No. Everything is going to be different because of them. The infrastructure of banks. They're going to alter the manner that people receive their paychecks and other financial compensation. They intend to alter the tax payment system. On the blockchain, everything is in motion. But it's not limited to the United States, is it? What do you think every other country will do if the US is using stable coins to support the dollar? Additionally, they will use stable currencies to support their fiat currency. Since we are altering everything, this revolution is the largest in history. I bring up these agreements, announcements, and payment relationships once more, gentlemen. It is essential to concentrate on these payment partnerships, and now we're beginning to notice them appearing roughly every 2 to 3 weeks. For instance, Ripple, in partnership with Zambank and MamoPay, will introduce cross-chain payments in the United Arab Emirates on May 19th. Guys, all of them are significant advancements. All of these significant actions reinforce the initial concept of the Internet of Value. At this point, Ripple begins to make a significant impact on the world by using XRP, stable currency, and even the XRP ledger. So, I'm really looking forward to the future. This XRP-related event was fantastic, in my opinion. In my opinion, Apex will grow significantly, and there will likely be a lot more announcements and partnerships at this one as well. So, be sure to keep an eye out for Apex 2025. As we move closer to that date, I'll update you all. Having said that, if you liked this video, please subscribe, leave a like, and enable notifications so that we can provide you with more free stuff. Please feel free to join the free Discord down description below and follow me on Twitter. Having said that, it's been Nick, guys. Thank you for viewing. Goodbye.